In this video, I'm going to tell you the top 5 mistakes that I see extroverted musicians make and give you tips on how to overcome them. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and welcome to Studio Live today. Now, if you're a musician but you also happen to be extroverted, which means you get your energy from other people, then there's certain challenges that you may come across, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, before we get started here, I want to point out that these are generalizations, which means that you may or may not have experienced these. Also, you may find that you've got one foot in each camp. You may be an ambivert of sorts. So make sure that you take everything here with a grain of salt. However, if you are introverted or extroverted, this could help either you or the people that you're working with on your music. Funnily enough, one of the challenges I see for extroverts is actually the same as one for introverts, and that is worrying too much about what other people think. However, it's for a very different reason. For introverts, it was more that they cared too much about what people thought, so they wouldn't share their music. For extroverts, it's often that they will only share what they think others will like. So if people won't like, comment, or subscribe, they're not going to share the music. Now, sometimes I think that's okay. Yes, you do want to do things that are popular at times, but don't forget, sometimes you just want to share whatever you're creating because you're passionate about it. It doesn't always have to get a whole lot of likes and comments to be good content. The second challenge that I see a lot of introverted folks face is wanting to be people pleasers. Now, before you jump on me and say, hey, that's offensive, hear me out here. Everyone wants to please other people. We have this built in to our DNA, most of us anyway. We want other people to be happy with what we're doing. However, some folks take that to extremes where they will only follow trends. They'll only do things that are popular, that other people are actually doing. Now, I'll give you an example. Trap music, making trap beats is very popular right now, at least as of November 2019. I don't make trap music, it's not my area of expertise, and I'm not that interested in it. Now, if you are and you find it's really great music and you want to create it, more power to you. But if you're doing it just because it's the flavor of the month and other people are doing it, then maybe take a think and go, well, maybe I could do something that I'm more passionate about. So you don't always have to do things that other people are doing, and you'd be surprised, even if you're into Scandinavian yodeling, just how many people are going to be interested in those niches and those other styles of music that you may love. Number 3 is probably going to be a bit controversial, especially if you've heard me rant about create, record, release on a regular basis, and that is oversharing your music. So what I see sometimes is folks are actually sharing their music too often and too much. Now, you might be thinking, what am I talking about here? If you've ever been in an online group or an online forum, you've probably noticed folks who come in and it seems that every day or like 3 or 4 times a day they're dropping a new beat or idea or 8-bar loop or something that they want everyone to listen to. Now, that in itself isn't a bad thing. Create your music, share your music, but sometimes what that can do is it can actually overload, and what you find is that the music shared by those folks is not presented to people. People will either ignore it, they'll hide it if they're getting too much of it, or they just simply won't listen to it. The algorithm itself will start pushing it down. So if you want to share your music, more power to you, but just be conscious that maybe wait until you have a finished product or at least a finished idea before you start sharing your music with people all the time. The number 4 challenge I see for folks is over promising and under delivering. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, picture this. Someone comes into a group, a music recording forum, and they say, hey, who wants to collaborate? And 10 people say yes, PM me. And they PM them and they say yes, they commit to everyone. But then they don't have the time, they don't have the ability to actually collaborate with all 10 of those people. What can happen really quickly is it can be really damaging to the community focus, to the reputation that you have in that community, because you're promising a bunch of things and then unable to deliver. So my tip to overcome this is to under-promise and over-deliver. So maybe say, yeah, maybe, or I can't do it right now or in the future, but don't commit to too many people. Commit to 1 or 2 folks that you know you're going to be able to follow through with, get those collaborations done, and you'll be golden. And number 5 is going to bring us all the way back around again, because once again, it's the same for extroverts as for introverts, just for different reasons. And that is not finishing your songs. So there's kind of 2 reasons why folks don't finish their songs. In the introvert video, I mentioned that it's because they are perfectionistic and they don't want to put something out until they think it is perfect, which, as we know, is an impossible, unachievable state. For more extroverted folks, it seems to be that they're more easily distracted. So they may be working on a track and then another track comes along and they try that, or they get bored with that song and they want to try something else. Again, nothing wrong with that, but there's so much value in actually finishing, create, record, release, get that final version done. It can be great for your mental state because it clears the slate, gets you ready for the next song. If you're only ever partially finishing your songs, you're not going to get a lot of satisfaction out of your music recording. So once again, please keep in mind that these are generalizations. You are not going to fit nicely into a little pocket of introvert, extrovert, or anything in between. You are your own person. But hopefully these 10 tips now, this video and the other one that you can see linked down below, have actually helped you out and might have given you some tips and ideas that are going to help you out in the home studio. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.